Howdy, and welcome. My name is Estevan, and this is a beginner-level contemporary Pilates class. All you'll need today is your own body and a mat, and let's get started right away in a tabletop position. Come to hands and knees, stacking your shoulders directly over your wrists with your fingers spread wide and even, and your knees directly underneath your frontal hip points with all 10 of your toenails pressing into the ground. Inhale to stretch your heart forward, feeling the front line of your body expand. As you exhale, come into like a cat pose. Round your spine like a Halloween kitty and tuck and tilt your pelvis towards your face. And start to move on the breath. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat pose, hollowing out. Keep moving just like that, following the cadence of your own breath. And noticing the relationship of your exhalations as you round the spine and tilt your pelvis, you feel your navel integrate into your spinal support. So as you squeeze in and up, you feel this deep expansion at your back. Lovely. One more cow-cat. Inhale for the front of your body to stretch, maybe finding a little smile as you stretch your face as well. And then exhale, cat pose, completely hollowing out the lungs. Lovely. Come into a forearm plank, and we'll get right away into a set of abdominals here. Take your palms, start with your elbows. Your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders, shoulder distance, and you choose. Some folks might enjoy, their hands placed down. For me, I like to make one big fist with both of my hands. And from here, we're just finding a little seesaw, a little rock forward and back. Before we move, I find that for most beginner levels, feet together is a little too crunchy on the low back. So if you live in a body with low back pain, then draw your feet a little wider, like hips distance or mats distance, and start to rock forward and back. Inhale as you articulate the toes. Exhale, press back. Lovely. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. So your lats, those are the back of your armpits, those muscles on your upper back are starting to engage. 2 more reps. Exhale, press back, feeling the connection of your glutes, your seat to activate. Last one. If you came into fists, press your palms down and lower the hips. Walk your elbows slightly forward for a little Sphinx pose. Draw the elbows back, slide the collarbones wide, and start to lift up through your heart, maybe lifting through your chin. Breathe in. Big exhale. Adding on just a little more there. Coming on back to your forearm plank. Whatever version of hands that work for you, whatever variation of feet work for you, either together or a little bit apart. Tuck your toes, take a breath in. As you exhale, curl your tailbone back, absorb your belly, and press down into your forearms. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, let your hips rock over to one side. You'll stack your feet in front of each other. Inhale, lift, a little hip dip. Exhale, press back. And keep on moving just like that. Starting to move into the transverse plane, our rotational plane, moving through our obliques, toning and trimming through the waistline. Do 2 more, 2 on each side. Exhale, tap the hips. Inhale, center. Full exhalation. Last round each side. Allowing that heat to build. I'm already starting to get a little drips of sweat on my forehead. Last one. Hold at center, breathe in, and slowly lower down into Sphinx pose as you exhale. Elbows slightly forward of the shoulders, slide the upper arms back, and lift your chest. Breathe in. Your navel still pressing towards your spine as you lift up. Lovely. One more like that. Inhale. Big breath out. All right. Keep your chest lifted. Plant your palms alongside your ribs and tuck your toes. Take a breath in. As you exhale, press up through tabletop and have a seat at the front of your mat. We'll take a transition to rolling all the way back to our spine, but we'll make it an actual purposeful transition working through our abs. So plant the soles of your feet onto the ground with your knees bent, not super close towards your seat, towards your glutes. And then you choose if you are you need training wheels, if you're still new to this and finding those little nuances of how to connect to the deepest part of your pelvis and your abs, then no shame in the game using your hands and your arms for some support. Even for someone like me who's been doing this for for a while. There's some days where my body just needs a little bit extra support. But if you want to try it and you're feeling strong already, you can do this with your arms forward for some counterbalance, or take this hands behind your head. For me, I'm going to honor my body and use my arms for this. Take an inhale to lift your chest. As you exhale, pull your navel towards your spine and start to round yourself back, tilting the pelvis, slowly rolling all the way down with control. Woo! Alrighty. Now walk your feet in a little closer and interlock your fingers behind your head, elbows wide. So we'll start to break down some curls. So finding our upper abs, finding our lower abs, and then putting it together, thinking of this as almost like a gym class crunch, but with a little bit more integrity. First, feel the front of your hip points tilt forward and up. Another way to feel this is like your sitting bones, your glutes are starting to slide forward. So your low back starts to flatten out its natural curve. Maintain that, elbows wide, breathe in. As you exhale, tuck your chin to your chest slightly and start to lift your upper back off the ground. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift up. Beautiful. Start to find your breath. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Keep moving just like that. I want to illustrate some things here. Feel your front ribs press down, compress towards your back body, and you might even feel your back armpits turn on, your lats. That's integrating this 360-degree core-setted engagement support along the spine. Another way, keep moving, keep breathing. Another way to think about this is imagine that you had a wheel that lived inside the top of your rib cage, and your wheel is spinning forward towards your thighs. It spins forward, 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 but staying in contact with the ground. Just give me 2 more. You got this. Exhale, lift. Woo! 1 more. Exhale, extend up. Woo, and slowly lower down. Relax the arms. Breathe in. Let your belly soften on the breath out. And pause here. These little moments of mindful recovery are just as important and just as necessary as those moments of activity, those moments of effort and strength. So we give our nervous system a moment to stabilize and almost come back to zero, back to home base before we add on. All right. So take your hands behind your head again. Let's reset. Plant the soles of your feet on the ground. Take a breath in to prepare. As you exhale, chin lives on your chest. Start to peel your upper back off the ground, that roll of the wheel that lives in your ribs. Now point your toes, breathe in, keep the height of your chest. As you exhale, lift your legs to tabletop. You have this flattening of your shins parallel to the ground. Keeping this shape, inhale, start to reach your thigh bones forward. Maybe your toes tap. Exhale, lift up. Upper body is stable and quiet. Inhale, lower down. And you might even spot check your own ribs. Exhale, lift. Keep on moving just like that. The moment you start to feel your low back start to arch and lift off the ground, you've gone too far low. So start to find that integrity of not allowing your low back to move, really plugging your thigh bones deep into the hip socket. And if you move slowly and move with control, you'll definitely start to feel that shake and wiggle, and I am. Now, while this might be beginner, this is complicated stuff. Yeah, this is nitty gritty. It takes a long time to really understand in your body, and then your body changes. And then it doesn't work anymore. And you have to, as you grow older, as you grow stronger, as you discover yourself over and over again, things will shift. So tune into what you need right here and keep breathing. Ooh, 2 more. Low back, strong and stable. Exhale, lift. Maybe close your eyes for this last one like me. I find that when I close my eyes, it allows me to stay tapped into what I'm doing. And rest. Feet on the ground. Elbows wide. And pause. Try to find complete stillness here. Really relish in this moment to catch your breath. Releasing the exhales out of your mouth helps us to release any overheating. So if we start to build, we obviously start to build heat as we do this movement, but sometimes the body needs a release valve. So Anytime that we move through these exhalations, feel free to release the breath out of your mouth like you're blowing out through a straw. And maybe it's a reusable straw. All right, let's put the whole thing together. Point your toes. Take an inhale. As you exhale, peel your upper back off the ground and lift your thighs to parallel, to tabletop. Again, inhale, open. Maybe you touch the ground if your low back stays long and flat. Exhale, lift. Full abdominal curl. Front ribs are knitting down towards the ground. And that vector, that press down, woo, gives you the leverage to fly, to find that flight. 2 more. Exhale, peel your upper back off the ground. Woo, invite that shake and wiggle. Last one. Exhale. And draw your knees to your chest. Take little rocks to the side. Ooh, that one broke the sweat for me. I don't know about you, but that one definitely, I feel the warmth in my belly. And there comes this point for my body, you might be like me, but there's this point, especially when I'm in this Pilates space, where I really, at this point of being warm and being in my abs, I start to understand how everything is connected. So now as we start to do some unilateral stuff, some one-legged things, and then we start to switch into single leg stretch, variation, we're really feeling the integration of plugging everything to the center while we start to move our body in these unilateral directions. All right, let's play with that. Take your hands behind your thighs, curl your chin to your chest, and come up to float your chest off the ground, and then take your knees towards tabletop. You'll grab one shin, draw it towards your chest as you plug the other leg long. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, switch. So the grip goes, the opposite hand and opposite knee, that hand grabs the top, and the same arm as leg grabs the outer shin, staying tucked in. Take a breath in, and exhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Beautiful. Continue to feel your navel compress towards the spine. Chin lives on your chest, reiterating the height of your upper back. Last 8, pulling tighter. 7, you've got 6, core on fire. 5, keep the fight. 4, you are strong, you are resilient. 3, lift a little higher. 2, all the way through this last side. 1, and draw your chest to the ground, knees to the chest, little rocks. Whew. Alrighty, so we basically just got full abdominal wall in that. We're going to work a little bit into our pelvis, our hip flexors and stabilizers, a little bit into our outer seat as they are part of the core unit, and we'll take a quick little stretch. So take one leg to start, flex your foot, and extend it all the way onto the ground, feeling that thigh bone heavy into the hip socket. Then the second leg, point your toe, bend your knee, and start to extend the toes to the sky. Now, you can take your thumbs to your hip creases and feel your outer seat, your glutes anchor on the ground. So we will not let our hips lift for these rotations, but we'll take 3 big circles in either direction. Cross the midline, keep your outer hip grounded, and then circle as long and as low as you can without torquing your spine. 2 more. Find range of motion that works relative to your body today. Last one, ribs knit in. Lovely. Once you come back to center, take an inhale, and then reverse it. 3 revolutions. Really carving and feeling the entire ball and socket joint of that thigh bone, the femoral head, massaging the back of your acetabulum, the hip bowl. Last one. Beautiful. Draw that leg back towards center. Inhale. And then as you exhale, bend your knee and slide that foot out. Flex through your foot. Point the opposite toe. Bend the knee and extend it towards the sky. Take a deep breath. Cross the midline as you exhale. Big circle. 3. Ooh, and things might feel very, very different side to side. This is my left side. 2. It's talking to me in my upper inner thigh, so I'm massaging that out just a little bit slower. being kind to my body, listening to its limitations and not pushing it past where it's telling me, hey, listen up, there's something going on here. Take one breath in at the center, then reverse it. 3 to close out. Chin has some space between your collarbones so the neck is long. Exhale out. Keeping that stability of your pelvis. Last one. Exhale out and around. Draw the leg back up to center. Breathe in. And then exhale, draw both of your knees to your chest. Let's take one little twist to recover. Draw one knee toward your chest and let the other leg go long in front of you and guide that front knee across your body and come into a half cactus with the extended arm. And if it feels okay for the neck, maybe you draw your chin towards that extended arm, breathing into the top waist, softening the lower spine as you breathe out. Just one more like that. Inhale. Open your jaw and release all of your stale wind. Slowly draw both of your knees towards center. Readjust your low back. And as you exhale, extend that leg forward and take the opposite knee across your body. Just 2 breaths and a twist before we close this out. Inhale. That top waistband softens on the exhale. Last one. Take up a lot of space with the lungs. Big breath out. All right, so keep your knees to that side that they're on. Just stack them, rolling over through a fetal position and coming on up to a seat. Cross at your shins. And with a tall spine, reach your arms up and overhead. Inhale. Exhale, bring your palms together at your heart space. And just take a little bow of your chin. Just a moment to acknowledge all that you've efforted, thanking your body for the amazing abilities and ranges and engagements that it allows, and trusting that just for today, this is enough. Take a deep breath in and out. Thank you so much for joining me today in your home studio. Again, my name is Estevan, and I cannot wait to do this again with you. Besitos.